the most knowledgeable person about something is always going to be easier to find online because you're connected to the rest of the world, and our little local corner is just our little local corner.
So why have meetings?
So we need to get everyone else.
So why have meetings? Because you can't necessarily have meetings with all these other cool people all the time. If you're lucky, you can go to conferences and hopefully get into arguments with people over your personal etiquette skills and your use of certain words. But I'm not in front of the camera now.
Yeah.
But no, these meetings are important for establishing community and doing things on a local level. And it is important to use the mailing list for those reasons, but don't expect them to be the best resource. Although I will point out, if you know particular people on the mailing list that are interested in a thing like LibreOffice, you know right now you send a message to the mailing list, maybe directed at Christopher Hotchkiss here, and say, hey, where's the wiki? Where's the wiki page on how I get started on working on LibreOffice? Things like that we've done ourselves will know, and that's a good support network. But I just want to emphasize that these meetings are the things that bringing us together in a physical location is the primary objective of an organization like SLUG. Our mission statement actually meets up pretty well with the mission statement of Meetup, which we are using, but although we're not solely using that. So that was 1, 2, 3 had to do with what?
Job.
The jobs list. Okay, so SLUG never. I'll paraphrase Paul Foster, who was our original president. We've never really particularly taken. I mean, Paul's a bit more southern than that sometimes. We've never caught him. He's going to yell at me if he sees this video because he's not actually. He's from. Oh, he is from Texas, so maybe he like that. Yeah.
Why
we
don't
don't
you do
cotton.
paraphrasing?
No, I'm gonna do some partial paraphrasing. I got it like this. So we don't cotton to people talking about job postings on the list. We don't cotton to also people offering to sell things on the list. And for the most part, no one in their right mind does this. I've not had more than one infarction on this in the last 2 years. It's not a big deal. If you want to post a job, though, we have some options available for you. Our default option is the SLUG jobs page, which one person has used in the last year, I believe, and it's Bright House job. It's posted there. It'll be there, I think, 2 weeks, and then it gets purged. We have a SLUG jobs list, which is an email list that's moderated. That's if you want more info on that, it'll be on the site this evening because I can edit that simple page on the horrible old site layout. Brian also posted about it in the main list. What we envision this being is kind of a discussion board on it. I think that's what you were saying, Brian. Is you've been posting things that you've seen on other sources, yeah. So that's good. I just remembered another online resource that SLUG has that I didn't mention, but I'll get back to that. The other option that we have is SLUG does exist on LinkedIn now, and LinkedIn is the big social networking of people looking for jobs and people looking to hire people, so that can work out too. So if that's actually a concern of anyone's, we do have those resources available. So you can make use of them. You can point your bosses at them if they want to find weird Linux nerds. I don't see the person that pointed out the member of the A team. I assume that's because it's what his initials are. It might be my friend Brian Allred, who's a relatively new member. And if it is him and he's seeing this because it's being recorded, I do apologize. Although I think that he would get a kick out of being associated with Mr. T. That said, the point that he made is that most if you're looking for a job, it's probably SLUG's not the place where people are going to go and post it, unless you're being very specific and looking for other Unix nerds, or like you have some very specific skill sets, and that is one place where we would excel. Because if anyone who's been in the position of being a Linux nerd or a C programmer, someone that lives in the command line, and you're looking around at jobs. A vast majority of them are like weird office-y things, working for big, huge companies, where you'll only ever get to see like 1%, one slice of the whole picture, and do boring things for the rest of your life. So, that doesn't seem very appealing. But I'm an optimist. Okay, so that's actually it. Before we kind of break off, and everyone should introduce them. I'm not going to do it like everyone goes around the room thing, But because we do that all the time, what we should do is you should talk to the person next to you and behind you and introduce yourself if you don't already know them. If you do know them, ask them how they've been doing it. That's actually good practice. But before we get to do that, what was I going to say? Oh yes, questions. Questions about SLUG, because that's kind of the germane of this post-presentation talk.
You mentioned there was another point of contact on the internet.
You can use we have a forum that's actually just the mailing list provided by NABL. So if you do not like using mailing lists because gosh darn it, mailing lists are antiquated technology, you can use list.suncoastlug.org, which I think is not linked on the LinkedIn, but I'll add it to there and I'll add it to the site, which is a web interface to the forum. To the mailing list. It looks like a forum. It has threads like a forum. It smells like a forum. I'm not sure that it has a taste. There you go. It's not necessarily. What?
I'll be looking for that. Nabble?
List.suncoastlug.org. And you may also find it if you just Google for the Suncoast Lug mail list. Any other questions? And I do have a bit of news as well. Hello, Mr. Jody.
Hello, yes, I'm Jody. I was curious, I noticed these meetings are popping up here and there, and they all seem to be on Wednesdays. Is that like the official meeting date?
Every meeting coordinator is basically responsible for when their meeting date is, subject only to, me and the rest of the SLUG officials will really complain if it conflicts with another meeting. Or if it's too close to an existing meeting, we don't want that happening either. That said, Joe Brandt is in charge of when the Sarasota meeting is, so he chose the first Wednesday. If you want to, if you're like going to go to it, I'm sure if enough people complained, he might listen and change it. That said, there's no particular reason. My meeting is on Wednesday because that was the day that the library was available.
I was speaking with Cliff earlier when we first got here, because of that. I know you had mentioned on Meetup that you're glad that there was a non-Wednesday meeting.
Yeah.
And for me, if it's originally before Cliff let us use this place, we were down by whatever HCC had, and it just so happened to be second and third Wednesday. And it's kind of nice and easy to say to people I meet, oh yeah, second and third Wednesdays. Now Monday, first, second, third, but
which is a bit strange.
Yeah.
Historically, isn't the Tampa meeting on the second Tuesday?
Well, no, it was whatever day was.
But traditionally, we would usually be on the second Tuesday. Especially like before it was at HCC, you wouldn't remember that.
I wouldn't know before that. No.
No one else here would remember that.
But
William, no, you started coming at the HCC meetings. Chotchki, you used.
I remember the Brandon meetings.
Oh, I would love a Brandon meeting.
We used to have one that it didn't.
Barnes and Noble.
if you would like to host it.
If you consider
Exactly.
if you think it's far enough away from yours, then that would be your call.
Enough annoying traffic, yes, I consider it far enough away.
It's not that bad.
So we have to be careful. You have to be careful. This is not a good talk here about meeting locations.
But I did want to mention that Cliff is open for a Tuesday shift. Or Tuesday consistently. I think Thursday would be a little too close to yours if we did one.
I know Tuesday would conflict with some people that do an event in St. Pete on Tuesdays. However, I'm noting that these are people that are doing an event in St. Pete on Tuesdays. So.
Yeah. So I was going to, once I confirmed with Cliff that Tuesday was available, I was going to send out an email about
like a poll,
who wants a possible Tuesday for the Tampa meeting.
I need to parse the census data that we took in October. Continuing, because I can actually draw some map of where the people are responding to that, where they are. We've been asking them that question on the meetup thing, but we're not really asking for very specific answers, so we have a wide range of, hey, yeah, I live in St. Pete, really near the Skyway. Sometimes people are that specific on that. Some of them are, I live in the Tampa Bay area.
That's why you remember this group.
What?
That explains why they'd be a member of the Suncoast Linux users group then.
Yeah, well, yeah, I mean, we are specific, but we kind of want to know where the meeting should be.
Simple answers like yes and no.
I do think that generally speaking, the Pinellas meeting being central along the park, or relatively south central on the Park Boulevard area, has improved attendance based on the fact that up to five people at that meeting live within a mile of the meeting. So that was a happy accident, because myself, Brad, Art Eaton, who's not here, several other people whose names escape me. I found out basically live in my neighborhood because of me accidentally having a meeting there. Okay, I'm done with that. I'm gonna go talk to whoever I was sitting next to, which is, well, actually I know all of them. I haven't talked to them since last month, so. I actually made
All right.
friends as well, so. Officially, no more, this is all open free discussion now. If anyone wants to talk in front of the projector and be blinded by the light and be recorded by Pete's camera, go ahead.
Anyone know how to dance?
Badly.
Well.
That's a typical answer.
I guess I'm done.